Welcome to The Next Level, delivered by FedEx. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Moreno, Craig Burley and Stevie Nicol. We'll kick things off by reflecting on an extraordinary performance, of course, from Erling Haaland as he matched the all-time scoring record in a match in a Champions League tie with 5 goals. In that victory for City against Leipzig, it is quite something. His first 25 games has seen 33 goals. It is quite something in the Champions League, unmatched. It's incredible when you look at Cristiano Ronaldo. His first 25 games, he scored no goals.
Hopeless.
Obviously went on to score 140. I suppose the question is, can Haaland be that catalyst to take City to the next level and win it all?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Man City and Guardiola brought him in to be there in big moments. Now, the Leipzig game wasn't the biggest moment, although it was 5 goals was great for him, obviously. But they were expected to go through. But when they draw, if they draw Bayern Munich, if they draw Real Madrid, if he can replicate that kind of form, he won't score 5 against those teams. If he can replicate that and take them all the way and overcome the defensive side of things, which City have struggled with deep in the competition, I don't see any reason why he can't do that.
From a striker's point of view, Ali, people say, oh yeah, but he just gets lucky, you know, he just happens to be in the right place at the right time.
How come not everybody's doing it then? If it was easy, if it was about luck, if it was about, hey, the ball just finds me all the time, then everybody would be scoring 5 goals in Champions League. And that's not quite the case. It's about instinct. It's about understanding and reading the play. Where do I need to be? Natural feeling for the game, natural sense as to where the goal scoring opportunity is going to be. And then once you find yourself in those sort of moments and in those sort of positions, you also have to put it in the back of the net. Some of the goals for Erling Haaland, yes, it fell to him, and yet he needed to pick a spot. He needed to find the side where there were no defenders. He needed to find the finish, and he did that. He is a special talent, and this is not luck at all. This is about a guy who knows where he's most dangerous.
So defensively, Stevie, how do you stop him when he's got the instinct to be in the right place at the right time?
The only way you could stop him is if you have a defender who has the same instinct to be in the right place to defend.
Right.
And it's not easy. You know, the chances of that are the same as the chances of somebody else producing what he's producing. There are very few on the planet in the football world. This guy just has an intelligence in the penalty box to be in a certain place. Along with that, though, he's got all the tools. You know, physically, he has the power and the strength. He has the ability in both feet. You know, the goal Ali, I think, is talking about when he picked his spot when there's like 5 and 6 people in front of him with his bad foot. Yeah. So this guy's got it all, pretty much.
Meanwhile, for Bayern Munich, they lost their talisman, their main striker, didn't they? Of course, in the summer with Lewandowski going to Barcelona. So how have they fulfilled their gap? Well, they fulfilled it, Ali, with a lot of people contributing.
A lot of people contributing, and early on in the season, Bayern Munich fans would suggest, you know what, we have rotation, we have flexibility in the attack because many guys are going to be able to score goals. And that lasted a couple of weeks. And then they started struggling, and they found the answer in none other than Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, who had been there all along. But they stumbled into him because all this rotation and all this flexibility wasn't working. They were struggling to score goals. Choupo-Moting, he's no Lewandowski, but what he is a guy that gives you a focal point in the attack. He's going to be a presence inside the 18-yard box. It's not about rotation. It's not about flexibility. If you cross the ball, more than likely he's going to be there. And to his credit, he's done a very good job with scoring chances for Bayern Munich. Gives them stability in the attack, consistency in the attack, and now productivity as well. How
much of Achilles' heel could this be, though, for Bayern to go all the way in this competition, not having the out-and-out striker? What do you think, Steve?
Absolutely. Listen, a good centre-forward will score goals playing for Bayern Munich. Because at the end of the day, that's what Choupo-Moting is. He's a good centre-forward. He's nowhere close to Lewandowski. Right. He's nowhere close to a Haaland. And the reason they seem to have settled on him is because, as far as the shape of the team's concerned, the rest, it doesn't work. Again, you see that the rest have scored goals, and some would look at that and say, well, it means they can spread it around. It means they've got lots of guys. But the truth is, as a centre-forward, pretty much all of them fall into the same category. They're good centre-forwards. They're just not a Lewandowski or a Haaland.
But City should have went all the way to the final last year without a striker.
Sure.
They threw it away in Madrid at 2-0 up.
Yep.
So if it can be done, it should have been done by City. And when you look at that graphic on Bayern Munich sharing the goals around, 3 of those players, Gnabry, Sané and Mane, were on the bench in the PSG second leg. So the one thing they got going in their favour in some sense is a pretty deep squad.
And we've talked a lot about strikers. Let's end by focusing on goalkeepers, shall we?
No.
And of course, some of the best on show in the Champions League remain. The likes of Courtois, Ederson, Onana's having a blinder as well. When you take a look at the stats, out of those 3, Stevie, which one do you want in your team?
Courtois, easy peasy. I don't think right now that's a tough decision. Yes, Onana's doing well. He's the up-and-comer, shall we say. The other 2 are pretty established. Ederson, for me, I don't remember the last time he made a really big save.
Yeah, that goals prevented stat's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, but
This is where stats get.
I know you can make them.
But it backs up your point in that, like, Ederson isn't someone who springs to mind when you think he's made all these different saves.
Well, because he hasn't.
Yes.
Goals prevented.
You're right. You're right, Stevie.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
I think this goals prevented is a little confusing.
Because he present mine.
I think it's Courtois as well.
Yeah.
Unless I want my goalkeeper to be Franz Beckenbauer with the ball at his feet,
right,
which Man City enjoy.
Yes.
But I'm still wanting my keeper to have the big saves.
Who's very much grown into this role, Real Madrid, hasn't he?
And he has been called upon to grow into this role because there were times in which Real Madrid wasn't defending all that well. So he had to come up with saves. You think about the run of Real Madrid last season in Champions League, and a lot of it, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Benzema, but Courtois was making the huge save. So if you're thinking and picking a player out of these 3 who's going to make a big save for you when it counts the most, when it matters the most, it has to be Courtois.
Thank you very much, guys. We're, of course, now at the quarter-final stage of the Champions League, and that was the next level, delivered by FedEx. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.